More and more important decisions are made by systems these days. Medical approvals, insurance claims, risk assessments. And honestly, this might be a good thing. They're faster, more consistent, and less arbitrary than humans. So when you scale decisions to millions of humans, you need some sort of rulebook. Same inputs, same outputs. That's how you get fairness.
But that already assumes something. It assumes that the right reasons can be listed in advance.
Well, yes. That's exactly what makes systems work. You define what matters up front, so decisions don't drift.
And that's the first shift. A system doesn't just decide outcomes. It decides what counts as a relevant reason. Anything outside of that list, it doesn't exist. Take a medical insurance system. It decides whether a treatment gets approved based upon diagnosis codes, risk categories, and probabilities.
Right. Because that's how you avoid arbitrary care. Two patients with the same decision should get the same level of care and the same decision. Otherwise, you're just relying on who argues the best.
But imagine the doctor says, this patient technically fits the category, but not in the usual way. Maybe they failed every standard treatment. Maybe they have a rare complication. That reason exists. But the system, it can't hear it. It won't take it as an input.
But if you allow exceptions like that, you break the system. Every case becomes special. Costs explode, and consistency, it disappears.
Exactly. So when the system says no, it really means no. Not no, okay, but explain. Or no, but persuade me. Just this reason does not exist here, therefore no, sorry, next patient. And what's changed isn't rejection. It's that some kind of reasons never even enter the decision space. They're not weighted and then rejected. They're filtered out before judgment even begins.
But that filtering, it's the whole point. It keeps decisions fair at scale. You trade interpretation for predictability.
Yes, and that trade-off, it might be worth it. But we should be clear about it. We're not just automating decisions. We're freezing the kind of reasons that are allowed to matter.
The system still works, though.
It does. The open question is whether we want these systems to decide outcomes. Or do we want systems that can still recognize when the reasons themselves have changed? And where there are outliers, where there are situations where we can't just take no for no because the no doesn't make sense. And just imagine one of your family members or yourself is fighting this system where it gives you nothing. No means to justify why you need something. It is incredibly frustrating.
So we've come to the end of the video. This is a little bit of a touchy one, to be honest with you. And I have this predicament in my brain because I strongly side with the critical Bianca here. But how do you run a country on that? It's kind of this like battle that goes on in my head. But I really hate the bold statements made by these leaders and stuff because it doesn't, as much as they claim it's fairness, it just doesn't seem fair and it feels ugly. And when you are in that position, so you need some desperate medical care or you need a job and you can't get it because you know the system is just treating you as another number. It is incredibly frustrating and very dehumanizing. It's one of those very difficult situations where you wish you were a millionaire so that you could just pay your way around the system. Anyway, maybe it's a little bit of a sober one. Maybe I'm a little bit angry. Anyway, I'll see you guys tomorrow.
Hello? What?